Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. Uh, this is our Women's Advanced Bible Study lesson, the 10th of March, 2022. What I'll be dealing with later on in the class is I'm hoping everybody participates. It's going to be everybody everybody giving account of what it's like on a day-to-day basis being a non-Messianic Hebrew Israelite. Some of the things they experience. So with that being said, I want to ask everybody to like, share, subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel, and hit the notification button if you can. This is a non-Messianic channel. We're dealing with the Tanakh and the Torah. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was handed down to Moses on Mount Sinai by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. So shalom and welcome, ladies, to the Prophets of Awakening channel, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our moment of silence, prayer, songs, and then we're going to do some women's health, and then we do some current events and a little need-to-know information, then we go into some Q&A. Then we go into our topic for discussion. Okay, this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our deliverance from our captivity that we in. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna do my prayer. Oh Lord, we come before Thee, thanking You for Your mercy and Your great power. We appreciate You, O Lord, and Your patience and guidance in these last days, O Lord. We thank You for awakening us to this great understanding of Your word, and we come before You that You keep, direct, and guide us through these upcoming weeks, O Lord, for there are trials and pestilences and mayhem at every turn, and we see Your mighty hand in the world's affairs and how You are constructing Your people's deliverance. And we trust and rely upon Thee for this cause. We honor and respect You greatly. Turn not Thy face from us, but allow us in our searching of You to find You, O Lord, and to dwell with You. Peace be unto You. So, somebody want to read the Psalms, or you want me to read it? You want me to read it? Okay. Okay. And these Psalms, Psalm 27. It's the Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom I shall fear. The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom I shall be afraid. When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and failed. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war shall rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire his temple, to inquire in His temple. For in the time of trouble He shall hide me in His pavilion. In the secrets of His tabernacle shall He hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. And now shall mine head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in His tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, and I will sing praises unto the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me, and answer me. When Thou sayest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto Thee, Thy face, Lord, I will seek. Hide not Thy face far from me. Put not Thy servants away in anger. though thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither nor forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Teach me the way. Teach me the way, O Lord, and lead me in the plain path because of mine enemies. Deliver me not over unto the will of my enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breatheth out cruelty. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So that's Psalm 27. It's a Psalm of David. This is the Lord is my light and my salvation. Anybody got any comments on that or something want to shine light on?
I would like to shine a light on verse 14.
Okay.
Yes, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. It's
Yeah.
always his timing, yeah.
Right. So if every Israelite do that, we'll be in a lot better position than we in. But
Right,
everybody don't do that.
right. I know I would be.
Okay. Yeah. So David said in verse 8, he says, when thou talking about the Lord, when thou saidst, seek my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Lord, will I seek. So whatever the Lord told him to do, that's what he said he's gonna do. Ain't that something? So with that being said, we're gonna go into the women's health. See what we got.
Yes, yes. Shalom, everyone. I am going to talk about three plants that are in the Bible, and shall I say spices also. So the first one I'm going to cover is hyssop. The second one is going to be frankincense, and then myrrh. They are all throughout the Old Testament, but they also have some great benefits that I'm going to discuss, and then I'm going to read a couple of scriptures pertaining to them.
Okay.
So, my first one will be hyssop. Hyssop is a plant that's been used medically for centuries, even as far back as biblical times. The above ground parts of the plant are what are used for medicine, not the roots. Okay, so hyssop can be used for liver problems, gallbladder disease, coughs, colds, sore throat, asthma, urinary tract infection, poor circulation, menstrual cramps, and to cause sweating in baths. So you can also use it in your bath water.
Okay.
And then you may have come across hyssop without knowing it. While it has a bitter taste, it's sometimes used as a flavoring in foods, and the oil is used as a fragrance in some body care products and makeup. Okay, and then my next one is going to be frankincense, which is a hardened gum-like material that comes from the trunk of a boswellia. I guess I'm saying that right. Boswellia tree, and
Okay.
it supports the removal of toxins from our body by improving digestion and promoting a healthy urination cycle. It also helps heal respiratory problems, relieves coughs, and keeps the flu away. Again, for women, it is good for relieving menstrual pain and delay menopause, and that is frankincense.
Okay.
Okay, myrrh. Myrrh is a sap-like substance that comes out of the cuts in the bark of certain trees. Okay, so myrrh stimulates blood flow and improves digestion. It can heal wounds and infections. It's an excellent remedy for relieving menstrual pain and maintain uterine health. So all three of those are good for women when it comes to menstrual problems that you may be having during that time. So the first verse that I want to read is out of Exodus 30,
Okay.
verse 23, which we know that myrrh was used by the Hebrew Israelites as the main ingredient in anointing oil. So Exodus 30, verse 23 talks about the holy anointing oil. Verse 23 says, "Take thou also until thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels, and sweet calamus, 250 shekels." It also talks about myrrh in Esther chapter 2. Like I said, there are a lot of verses that covers the anointing oil. Also in Exodus. And then I'm going to read Leviticus 24 and 7 in reference to frankincense. So 24 and 7, this is the offering of the showbread. So 24 and 7 says, "And thou shalt put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord." And my last verse that I want to cover is in reference to hyssop, which is out of Psalm, one of my favorite books. So this will be in Psalm 51 and 7. This is a plea for forgiveness and a plea for cleansing. Verse 7 says, "Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow."
Okay.
And
That's
that's
it.
it. Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. That was a good presentation. So you can get this at the pharmacy or at the health store.
Yes, they also have it all in oil and tea. Hyssop comes in tea also.
Okay. So you can get a tea with hyssop in it.
Yes.
Okay. Check that out. Okay. Anybody else got any comments on it?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting about the what was used in the anointing oil. Cause yeah, they use a lot of olive oil now, but that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go back and look at that, when they do the sacrifices, they have to use those same three uh spices, and they so whenever they cooking the meat and doing the sacrifice and the fire burning, it sends off an aroma, and that's what I'm trying to convey to the people, that it ain't Yahweh, it's the Lord of hosts that's there. He there, he in the temple, he's standing right there. Because like I said, when he says, uh, this sweet savor goes up in his nose. So you can't burn something on the earth and it go all the way up in the most high nose in heaven. He got to be standing right there for him to smell it. And then he turned around and says, when you go back and read the way it's being delivered in the scriptures, he says, take the fat from behind the coal or whatever. So he right there, like when he showed Adam how to sacrifice, when he showed Abraham, showed him right there, showed him how to go in there and showing him where this at, where the fat is, showing him where this at, and all that stuff is, and put this on the fire, put that on the fire. He right there, just like at the waters when Abraham struck the rock. He was standing on the rock, and Abraham struck the rock and didn't acknowledge him. So it's his temple. He in the temple. When they go in there, he in the holy of holies. He in there. Yeah. And a lot of people ain't getting that. And that right there is a testimony to tell you right there that Yahweh got his own temple in heaven. The temple they building on the earth is in Zion, in the land where Most High gave to Mike. Okay, this song.
And I also always when she was mentioning about the sap of the tree, I just always when I used to see trees that produce sap when you cut it or you um broke it or whatever, I used to always think that something was special about the trees that produce sap because some of them don't.
Right. It's almost
It's like they have a life in them or some blood or some kind of
exactly.
something special about them, like it's damaging them when you cut it, but it's producing something
Yeah,
powerful. I don't know.
Right,
yeah.
right,
Yeah, he said that like I was saying when they sacrifice, he says mingle the blood because they had to drain the blood out the animal, and so he told Moses mingle the blood with the myrrh and the hyssop and all that. He had to mingle the lamb's blood with that. And then he took some of it, he did some, he poured some of it on the fire, I think, and some he sprinkled on the people. But like I said, we reading over that because we don't see the significance of, understanding that and what's going on with it. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna do some current events, you know. So last night, the conversation we was talking about last night, in a couple of places, we talking about the cryptocurrency, and I was talking about how they, uh, people think that America is the end all, but we already see China coming on the scene and Russia coming on the scene. So America is, you got to rethink what you're looking at and what you've been told. So we was talking about the cryptocurrency and how that, that's cryptocurrency gonna be involved in us leaving here and part of the great substance. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, we're gonna look at that. We see what's going on the world stage. So let me do this right here. Can you see that?
yes,
Okay, so what's going on? Biden just signed an executive order pertaining to cryptocurrency. It ain't no coincidence. We see what's going on with Russia and the economy tanking and all that. Now he signed an executive order. Here we go.
Yeah, it could be a big deal. And if you see Bitcoin prices, certainly the market thinks it is. If you take a look, you have a more than 9% jump in Bitcoin over the last 24 hours. It is still down on the 7-day period, but a significant lift here, more than the other assets. If you flip up the board and take a look at Ethereum, for example, also getting a lift about 6% or so. But the one interesting thing to me is while those assets have gotten a lift, Tether and stable coins more largely have not seen as much of a lift, are pretty stable on the day, but again, stable on the week as well. So what are the safe havens here? Let's get someone else's take here. We're going to bring in Marty Chavez on this. He is the vice chairman at Sixth Street Partners, really a pioneer when it comes to technology and money. Marty, thank you so much for joining us. There's a lot of criticism about the executive order that came out of the White House. On one hand, it's been hailed as a watershed moment, but on the other hand, it has also been criticized as short on details. What's your take?
Sonali, we've talked about this topic before. I've been saying for a long time the best thing that can possibly happen to digital regulation, digital assets, is the appropriate amount of regulation. Sure, the executive order did not give us a lot of detail. It mostly directed a variety of organizations in the government to do more work and do more study, and that's great. There is, we expect a Treasury paper forthcoming later this year that's going to have a lot more detail. But I would say that at the root of my concerns, and you and I have talked about this before, are really the stable coins. right? The stable coins are a form of currency peg, and currency pegs have not been successful. They work right up until the moment that they don't work. And there's certainly not a lot of detail. I'm not sure there's any in the executive order about stable coins. And to my mind, the appropriate regulation of stable coins, which I would see as a kind of narrow bank, so we actually know what are the assets backing them and what are the mechanisms for those assets. I think that's going to be hugely important. And until we have that, I don't know how investable the whole space of digital assets is from my perspective. But once we have a foundation for the stable coins, it looks like an appropriate regulation, I think it's going to be a part of an immensely important, long secular trend, the dematerialization of everything.
Marty, what about what we're seeing here in terms of investment into things like the Ukraine DAO, the way that investors have really been able to mobilize and raise money at scale when people have not been able to access currency in the traditional way?
Well, first, let's just start by just acknowledging the pure horror of what's going on in Ukraine, and the sympathy. The sympathy isn't even the word for the suffering that's happening over there. And to the extent that cryptocurrency can partially mitigate some aspects of that suffering, I think it's huge. It does show you that there's ways to move money internationally with cryptocurrency, which we've all known that are interesting, that don't require intermediaries. Of course, it brings up all kinds of concerns about the enforceability of sanctions, and there's all kinds of discussions about Russian wallets and the exchanges, and that's complicated.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what you think about that and the role that crypto plays here when there are sanctions and really lots of governments around the world trying to restrict the flow of capital. Is crypto going to fix or make that worse?
So, restricting the flow of capital, sanctions, this is something that governments do. Personally, to my mind, we have heard commentators say the U.S. is not playing fair with the dollar. Well, I don't know that playing fair is really what the discussion is about when Russia unprovoked invaded Ukraine. And so cryptocurrencies do provide this mechanism. I think it's important as a matter of sovereignty to have the right amount of regulation. I don't like using the term cryptocurrencies. I don't think they're currencies. I think they're digital assets. The currency is a different thing, and this is something else that I've been saying for a long time. Digitizing the US dollar in an appropriate way that respects identity, privacy, know your client, anti-money laundering, sanctions regimes that bolsters the Fed's tools for macroeconomic policy and the United States' tools for geopolitical policy. That's hard. And getting that right is really important. But to me, it's not an option. Do we want to digitize the US dollar? That dematerialization journey has to continue. It's important for US leadership. It's important as a matter of innovation. And getting it right is extremely hard.
To what extent is it a question of national security? You have millions of people who are flocking to China's central bank digital currency as we speak. And I'm wondering if the U.S. doesn't catch up and do the same, to what extent does that start to shift global financial powers over to China?
I worry about this a lot, Sonali. The dollar status as a global reserve asset is not written in stone. It has persisted for 100 years. Not that the historical pattern needs to repeat, but about every 100 years, there's a different global reserve asset. And I've been saying for a few years now, digitizing the US dollar in an appropriate way is essential. It's not just another form factor, right? To me, that's like saying a starship and a bicycle are just two different forms of transportation. No big difference between the two, right? A digital dollar, potentially a programmable dollar, is a completely different thing than the inert paper dollar that we currently have.
Last night we was talking about this cryptocurrency thing and how China, since the last 6 or 7 years, been experimenting with a system on how to incorporate cryptocurrency into their society. And so now all of a sudden we hear Biden come out and with an executive order dealing with cryptocurrency. So All these are signs that, like they keep talking about the Great Reset, and the biggest way, quickest way to to do that is war. Anybody got any comments? Okay. Okay, one, another couple more, you know. Okay.
Well, in Kyiv, Russian forces continue their advance towards the capital. More than half the population of Kyiv has fled since the invasion began. The mayor of the city described it as a fortress, and humanitarian organizations have warned that many people there have run out of food and are still living without water or gas. Russian forces are said to have rolled their armoured vehicles up to the northeastern edge of the city today. Jeremy Bowen has sent this report from Kyiv.
When your world is turned upside down, there's separation, loss, confusion, and relief at getting out alive. Hundreds more have been evacuated from villages in the firing line outside Kyiv in the last few days, taking bad memories into new, uncertain lives.
Did you see any Russians? Yes. What were the Russians like? Did they speak to you?
They were mute. They were mute. No, no comments, no words, no, nothing. They were mute. They stayed like stones.
Medics can help with the physical pain of wounds. Kyiv's hospitals are ready, expecting many more.
But what do
But
you
what
say
do you
to
say to
someone who needs the comfort of home when everything familiar has gone?
This minibus was from the children's home, many with special needs and carers who'd spent 2 weeks in cellars trying to keep them calm. The police took videos to record who'd escaped. Then they checked their bags. The fear of Russian infiltrators is strong. Food is not in short supply, along with plenty of questions about what the Russians will do next and allegations about what they're doing now. The police commander said they'd had many phone calls about violations of the rights of civilians and weapons, injuries and murders. Appeals for information about the missing. At another crossing point, hundreds more walking out of the firing line. And a priest who helped rescue them from the Russian army.
There is nothing which is related to God in the actions. So there is no reason for them to attack Ukraine. We are not attack anybody. So we just made decision to have different future. We want to have democracy. So if Russians they want to restore Soviet Union, may God bless them, but we ask them to do it within their borders.
10 miles east of Kyiv, Russia's tactical blunders continued. Tanks are easy targets when they push forward, bunched up in broad daylight. But the Ukrainians are still outnumbered and outgunned. At strong points around the city, Ukrainians...
Yeah, okay, so they expecting tonight, or tonight, tomorrow, this place, capital Kyiv, probably be a done deal. Okay, that's when the game change. Any comments? Okay.
I don't know. To me, I know they're saying this all this is going on. Maybe we're not seeing it,
Right.
Those people, I know they're saying they just, I mean, the words that the reporters are saying don't match with what I'm seeing.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Some of it looks like it's acting, or
Right.
like they get little groups of little pockets of things and blew it up.
Right.
They don't look terrified to me. I mean, they look like they trying to go somewhere, but I don't know. I'm sure I saw one where they had a picture of all these people in these body bags,
Right.
and then the wind blew up, and then the person in the body bag pulled the. I mean, it could have been a joke, but I'm just saying it's like they had all these body bags laying
Mm-hmm.
out in lines, and
Right.
then this one at the front. And I'm sure it was. I don't know. It was. I don't know, but the person inside closed it back up. That's just
Okay.
how. This is,
Okay.
you know, people making a joke like it's not. I don't know. And
Right.
like just what they were doing right there, they didn't. The kids didn't look. I mean, they looked like they were in the mall or somewhere crowded,
Right.
but not distressed. Like their lives are on the line. Like when other people in other places have been in war, that imminent danger. I didn't sense that. I don't know.
Right. Right. That's a major part of war is the propaganda. They
Right? Yeah.
yeah. You notice how they keep saying it. The news reporters on all sides keep saying we don't know whether it's propaganda or we don't know if it's true or not. They make sure they say that because they trying to make Russia look like they're doing a hell of a job of making Putin look like a demon. You know, and they're trying to turn the whole world against him through the media, and then they telling saying how these lifting these Ukrainian people up like they you know so
And
that
that's
all
another thing. Yeah, they're showing a lot of that. Like,
right.
they're not suffering to me. I don't see where all this, it's a lot people in worse conditions. They're not, having anything said about them.
Right.
These people they got fur coats on, little hats.
Yeah,
The
like
babies are calm.
yeah.
Say again.
It's like they got it. It's like they went through a line and they gave them all that stuff. For whatever they was doing because they
Could
had a
be.
they had the little ears on the things and all that. I mean, it's like you got time to do all that and you're supposed to be fleeing from.
Hmm. They don't want to make them look bad. They want them to look like,
Right. Make them look good.
yes, pristine and like, they're suffering, but they still have their dignity. I don't. It's just
Yes.
I don't know.
Right. Like I said, it's gonna backfire. To me, it's gonna backfire because you looking at firsthand, this ain't nothing compared to what they did to us in 1619 when they came and got us from the West Coast. So,
Exactly.
so it's looking the way the whole world rallying behind them, but the whole world know what happened to us. They ain't rallied yet and told them to fix our situation. But this right here is shining a light on it. And like I said, the president for China and Russia keep on bringing it up. Saying they ain't got no business in getting involved in this because they got issues over there that they created, they ain't fixed yet. They keep saying that. Yeah. So I think like I said, this is all part of our deliverance. So I see today they made another video pertaining to these eco villages, and this becoming popular. Yeah, so you get a chance, you can just go to YouTube and type in eco villages. It's becoming like it's a big thing.
Oh, family, shalom,
I'm gonna let some
everyone.
of it play.
We're going to be talking about a group that we started on our website. The group is dealing with eco villages and communities. And so we had mentioned this some time ago. We actually started the group some time ago as well, but we didn't get a chance to come back on here and actually be more specific about what's going or what's going to happen in the group on our website. It's the Watchman Reports website. So the group is basically dealing with eco villages and communities. An eco village is kind of different than a community in a sense, but they are kind of like the same as well. But the difference is, in an eco village, you have people who come together with like minds, who already had a set goals, have a set of goals or standards that they are all going to live by, and it's agreed and
Yeah, it looked like in the background, that's what they had. Evidently, they must have a, must be a part of one, dude, back and forth. Yeah.
agreed upon set of goals and standards. With the community, you still have people who come together to live together, but they may not always necessarily have the same rules that are in place that you would with an eco village.
Yeah.
I've seen some of
I've
those
seen some of
eco
those
villages
eco villages
on the internet,
on the internet, and
they're awesome.
they're awesome.
You know,
You know,
when some
we
people
some
come
people come
together,
together.
a lot of
A
them
lot
have
of them have
tiny
tiny
homes,
homes,
they
they
come
come
together
together
and
and
they
they
work
work
together,
together.
and
And
they
they
have the
have the
same
same
like
like
mind.
mind.
They
They
all
all
have
have it. They're
one
one
mind as
mind as
far
far
as
as
wanting to
wanting to
grow
grow
food,
food,
off grid
grid
maybe,
maybe.
and there's
There's
a
a
number of
number of
things that
things that
they
they
agree
agree
on and
on,
they
and they
work
work
together.
together.
The
The
one we
one we
saw that
saw
I
that I
thought was
thought
very
was very
interesting
interesting
was how
was
much
how much
wood
wood
they
they
had
had
chopped up.
chopped up.
Yeah.
It was
It was
amazing. I mean,
amazing. I
they
mean,
had
they had
piles and
piles and
stacks of
stacks of
chopped
chopped
wood
wood
everywhere.
everywhere.
If
If the winter,
when
when
the
the
winter
winter
came,
came,
they
they
probably
probably
didn't
didn't
have to
have to
chop
chop
any
any
wood
wood
for
for
the
the
winter.
winter.
No, they didn't.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
it
was
was
a
a
rather
rather
small
small
eco
eco
village
Yes.
too.
village
I
too.
think
I
it
think
was
it was
only
only
5
5
residents, if I'm
residents,
not
if I'm not
mistaken.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
their
their
setup
setup
was really
really
awesome.
awesome.
These
These
people
people
came
came
together
together
for
for
a
a
specific
specific
reason,
reason,
and
and
all
all
of
of
them
them
know
know
what
what
their
their
task
task
is
is
and
and
how
how
they
they
all
all
supposed
supposed
to
to
work
work
together.
together.
Whereas
Whereas
in
in
the
the
community,
community,
you
you
may
may
have
have
people
people
who
who
come to
come to
live
live
together,
together,
and
and
they
they
may
may have
that you
that you
sit
sit
down and
down
you
and you
plan
plan
out.
out.
The
The
ones that
ones that
we've
we've
seen,
seen,
they
they
actually
actually
have
have
meetings,
meetings,
right?
right?
Yeah.
See,
See,
but
but
one
one
thing
thing
that
that
so-called
so-called
black
black
people,
people,
they
they
don't
don't
like
like
meetings.
meetings.
They
They
think
think
that
that
if
if
you
you
have
have
a
a
rule
rule
that
that
you
you
establish
establish
in
in
the
the
meeting,
meeting,
that
that
you're trying to rule their life and try to
Control me.
right,
right?
and
And
you have to have rules, right?
Right.
You
Right.
have to
you
have
have to have
meetings. You have to
meetings. You have
discuss
to
things and
discuss
talk
things and
about
talk
things,
about things,
safety,
safety,
security,
security,
growing food. You
growing
have
food.
to
You
talk
have to
about
talk
these
about
things. And
these
if
things. And
people
if
are
people are
easily
easily
offended,
offended,
if you
if
are
you
a
are a
person who's
person who is
easily
easily
offended and you
offended and
don't
you
think
don't
people
think
should
people
talk
should talk
about your
about your
junk that
junk
you're
that you're
doing,
doing,
then you
then
don't
you
need to
don't
be
need
a
to be
part
a
of my
part of my
team.
team.
Now,
Now
watch
watch
this.
this, right?
Let's say
Let's
you
say you
got a
got a
little
little
eco
eco
village.
village.
Let's say you
Let's say you
got a
got a
little
little
eco
eco
village.
village.
It's
It's
five
five
families.
families.
You
You
all
all doing
doing
good
good
together,
together,
right?
right?
And you
You
all
all
doing
doing
your
your
thing,
thing,
right?
right?
But you
But you
got
got
one
one
of
of
them,
them,
Ricky. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
call
call
him
him
Ricky,
Ricky,
okay?
okay?
And
And
Ricky
Ricky
is
is
very
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
So
Let's
let's
say
say
he's
he's
very
very
messy with
with
his
his
stuff.
stuff. So
So
let's
let's
say
say
Ricky
Ricky
got two
got two
cars and he
cars
just
and he just
parking them all
parking them all
crazy,
crazy,
And let's say
and let's
Ricky
say
got
Ricky
other
got other
things and he
things
just
and he
keep
just keep
all
all
around
around
his
his
house
house
just a
just a
mess
mess
and
and
just
just
wild
wild
looking
looking
and
and
just
just
crazy
crazy looking
stuff.
stuff. Well,
Well,
pretty
pretty
soon
soon
the other
other
people
people
will be
will be
like,
like,
Can
"Can
you
you
straighten
straighten
that
that
up,
up,
man?
man?
We
We
getting
getting
tired
tired
of
of
seeing
seeing
this
this
garbage
garbage
out
out
here,
here,
man.
man.
You
You
got
got
garbage
garbage
all
all
on
on
your
your
property
property
here.
here.
Can
Can
you
you
clean
clean
some of
some of
this
this
up?"
up?" Want to have their own set of rules. That ain't something we're looking for. So we're not going to be rushing into this. We want to be led by the Most High Yah. We're
We're
going
gonna
to
take
take
our
our time
time
with
with
this.
this one.
We want to do things according to His will, not according to our religious feelings because somebody told us this and told us that, and we felt bad and we felt sorry. We can't do it like that anymore. Those of you who know what we're talking about, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. Okay, you just can't go according to those things anymore. We still love people. We still
One
love
thing I
people.
learned about,
We're still very easy to get along with. But we
Okay. Any comments?
I think to build something like that with like-minded people is going to be important in with what's getting ready ready to go down.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. when you think about it, it's gonna manifest its own self. Like I was saying, it's already manifesting itself. Because like I said, look at the example is what just happened with Ukraine. The Ukrainian people. One day they was doing their thing. Next day they had to run off and leave all that. So, that's where we at. But like I said before, whatever the Most High had already spoke, it's gonna happen. So you can see that's where we headed. We headed in that, it may be temporarily, but it's heading that direction. And the thing about it, the biggest thing about the whole thing is you can't go there with no chip on your shoulder and bring drama. You want to go and bring peace.
Right.
With this spirit. Wherever you end up here. Right.
And that's probably what this, we're supposed to be learning from this.
Right.
How to work together again, because it's not
Right.
that's our major problem in our community.
Right, exactly. And that's like he was just saying about the example he gave. If Ricky doing the most, then you just feed him with a long Island spoon. You shouldn't allow him to disrupt what everybody else doing. Just feed him with a long Island spoon. Most High gonna get rid of him, But to just come and just drop the hammer on somebody, that's not necessary. I don't think. Okay, we can make situation worse. Okay, so with that being said, this is a major situation right here. Nobody's paying attention to right here. Then we go into the Q&A. So it's happening as we speak.
In several parts of the world, bank runs have accelerated over the past few days after banking systems mysteriously started to go offline, raising fears that a potential system collapse.
That's why he come out with this cryptocurrency, executive order.
Is looming as geopolitical tensions rise all across the globe. Those who still think that these recent bank outages, closures, and disruptions were isolated events that'll soon be fixed will probably be unpleasantly surprised to discover that this is part of the new normal. We have a lot to discuss today, so please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to keep updated with future videos. Conditions in the financial system are making many people lose their trust in banks, especially now that interest rates hikes threaten to unleash a credit crunch similar to what happened during the 2008 financial crisis. But problems in the financial world go way deeper than most people think, and that's an extremely alarming situation for consumers who don't even know what they're truly in for. All over the world, and particularly in the United States, Canada, the UK, and China, thousands of bank branches have been suddenly closed since the burst of the health crisis. Banks say this is happening because people are still afraid to leave their homes and have been preferring to make their transactions using online platforms. Operational costs have also been going up. Banks tend to cut on expenses wherever they can. More and more routine transactions are taking place online or on your phone. So as a result, branch traffic is not only down significantly over the years, but it's also changed, explained Greg McBride, the chief financial analyst for Bankrate. In 2020, 2,126 bank branches were closed in the United States, according to S&P Global Market Intelligence. That was the highest number of bank closures ever recorded until 2021, when roughly 3,000 more branches disappeared from the system without further notice. From March 2020 to October 2021, over 4,000 branches were shut down. Nationwide,
Wells
Wells
Fargo
Fargo closed a net
267 branch locations in 2020. That number escalated to 993 by the end of 2021, according to data released in a report conducted by the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. Last year, California had the highest rate of bank retail branch closures compared to any other state. Bank shutdowns jumped by 38%, accounting for a net loss of 269 banks. California was followed by Michigan with 247 closures and New York with 221. Rounding out the top five were Florida with 192 and Illinois. Illinois with 153. This suggests that banks are simply rushing to close as many branches as they can, as quickly as they can, anywhere they can, the authors highlighted in the report. It is true that more people have turned to mobile and internet banking services in recent years, but those don't fully replace physical bank branches, explained Bruce Mitchell, NCRC senior research analyst and co-author of the report. The story that banks are not telling us is that this shift to online services wasn't entirely a choice. In fact, since many local branches were closed overnight, it was the lack of choice that led many Americans to start using online banking. What no one seems to be talking about is that customers are losing access to ATM machines to withdraw their money and becoming increasingly vulnerable to online disruptions and even unannounced freezes on their assets. The closures are disproportionately affecting those who live in rural and remote areas, who oftentimes lack access to mobile banking and have a greater need for in-person locations. For local communities, this has been a total nightmare. For instance, one elderly local said in an interview that he's been struggling to access his account since he doesn't understand how online services work. I don't use the internet at my age. All the banks are shut down. And now there's only one here in town, said 80-year-old Peter Alderson. I think it's a disgrace, to be honest. The nearest bank closed down. Now the only one that is open, you can't get served anyway because there are so many people going down there. I can use the internet, but I've turned 80 now. Basically, I do make mistakes. When I go online banking, I've got to be careful I don't press any wrong buttons. Bank branches are also responsible for fueling local economies and many nearby small businesses that managed to survive the past few years, now at risk of closing down since foot traffic continues to decline. And although that itself is a matter of concern, the main problem is that the reduced number of functioning branches and available ATM machines means that many people will not be able to get cash on their hands in case an emergency hits. People will not be able to have access to their savings or regular banking services if an outage occurs. On top of that, new rules backed by several global economies, including the U.S. government, do not require major banks to ensure that communities will have access to cash when their last branch shuts. In Europe, that has sparked some fierce consumer backlash over the past couple of weeks, but strangely enough, this news has not hit the U.S. headlines just yet. In the UK, some dissatisfied customers started to move their money from their accounts and into their crypto wallets, while others engaged in a bank run to take their money out of the system. As a result, several banks have seized people's assets and crypto portfolios amid growing fears that bank runs would continue to occur on a faster, greater scale, according to a recent report published by MarketWatch. To make things worse, banking insiders are warning that 700 to 800 branches will be closed this year in the United States alone, as high street banks continue to cut costs and attempt to speed up the process of digitalization, they said. There are going to be a lot of disappointed small businesses and angry branch-dependent customers once new branch closures start getting announced, said one banking source, adding that, as a result of the new rules, they're going to think a white knight will come rushing to their rescue and insist that banks will fund the installation of a new cash machine in their community, or even a new-style banking center that all bank customers can use. But it won't always be the case.
Okay. Signs all around us. Any comments? Anybody had any trouble at the bank?
No, I have not.
Okay. Yeah, I've been hearing different people saying things about it. No, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's just a warning, because like I said, that's a major sign something going on. So with that being said, I was gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got anything they want to bring up, you want to talk about or discuss? Questions?
Something came to it was I can't remember his name, but he just kind of talks about what's going on in the black community. It's an older guy, you probably seen him, but he was just talking about how, and he was in essence talking about how the the New Testament and JC in general, how is so clearly demonic. And he was talking about, he mentioned something that stood out was he was talking about communion. And I
Okay.
just think about how long we did communion. I know I did. And we made it such a sacred thing. And he was saying, all it was is like cannibalism,
Right,
teaching you what they do.
right,
They
exactly.
eat babies, and
Right,
we participating in drinking blood and eating flesh. It's like training you. It was like a
right,
training. I had
right.
never thought about it like that.
Well, yeah, and then out of ignorance, they rubbing it in your face.
Exactly.
You
They're
ain't doing
teaching you how to eat some, flesh and blood. It's really what
right,
it is.
exactly. And then, like I was saying, that's crazy. In the New Testament, when he said, "Eat my blood, drink my blood, and eat my flesh," when he made the example of at the Lord's Supper, man, you got to think about that. People don't, they don't think about that. What do that have to do with anything, any of the prophets, or anything that happened in the Old Testament?
Right, exactly.
Where that's coming from? Yeah,
And then when you think about it and you really look at it, the little cracker things or whatever, they had to be a certain color and the juice had to be a certain color.
exactly.
Like now I see all of that, but then I did not.
Right, right. And like I said, those people were familiar with all that when they concocted it, because they brought a whole bunch of different pagan religions all together, and so the people was familiar with it. When they presented it, because seeing them presented all that, they was familiar with it. It wasn't nothing foreign to them. They already knew what was up. And they was used to having, you know, gods change, and they were creating other gods, and they was familiar with all that stuff. Like I said, they was all these gods. Like I said, I got a book called 16 Crucified Saviors. All those saviors were fertility, and they was tied to the harvest. So that's what that was all about. Killing the kids was that he comes and make sure that their crops grow and all this stuff. And all that's tied into that. When you understand all that, it's all tied to what's going on with Christianity.
That is, it's so sick when you think about it, though.
Yeah,
Then
it is.
they sacrifice Kids of all people.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, so yeah, okay. So I got this little article I'm gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna see if anybody has comments on it's see if anything making sense. It says it's time for Black women to rally for the Supreme Court nominee Kentania Brown Jackson in Washington D.C. So we're gonna read some of it, see what you have to say about it. It says Washington as Kentania Brown Jackson meet the senators on Capitol Hill Thursday, stepped away from steps away. Hundreds of Black women called for support for the nominee in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, where they hope she will be seated. Okay. We're here to stand in solidarity, said Marlene Campbell, president of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. We were here to put a warning out that we want Judge Jackson to have a fair. We want we want Judge Jackson to have a fair confirmation process. Hundreds of Black women from organizations across the country converged on the Capitol Hill to press lawmakers to support Jackson, President Joe Biden's nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court, and to back sweeping voting rights legislation stalled in the Senate. Okay, many participants in the Speak Out were attending a 5-day summit hosted by Black Women's Roundtable, the National Coalition of Grassroots Groups. Okay, so anybody got any comments on that? I ain't heard nothing about it until I saw this article. Did you? Anybody hear anything about the bunch of Black women marching on the Capitol?
No, that's my first.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
So what you think about that?
I mean, she need to be confirmed just like they don't let all the racists get confirmed. I mean, even if she not good, I mean, what's the difference? They're gonna put another face in there to do the same. Confirm her. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I mean, they're not in charge of nothing anyway. But I mean, if it's a
Right.
black woman, I'd rather it be a black woman than another white man or another. Uh, like Obama put the Hispanic lady in there. I mean, it's just so why not the black lady? I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. From what I'm looking at is how they doing all this right here. Coming out of the woodworks. They did the same thing with Joe Biden. And look what he's doing. And then they kind of rallied together at the last minute for Obama and all that, and he got another 8 years and ain't do nothing. That's my thing is how you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, and you still getting the same result. Then the people don't remember how you came together and supported them. Then when they get in the position where they're supposed to be at, they don't remember none of that. They forget it. Throw you out with the wash with the bathwater. Okay.
True. This is true. They learning from Biden though. I see a lot of people commenting like, "I didn't look. Y'all put him in there. Y'all deal with the consequences." But you know what? I was thinking you be talking about propaganda. None of us has seen this whole group of women. It could have been a little group, like a 20. We don't know. I hadn't
Right.
seen anybody um protesting or demanding. I mean, did they have a video of it, of the people?
I'm quite sure it is. I was looking through the news section and I saw this article. That's why I saw it. So I probably
But I
scrolled
wonder
back.
how many people, because I don't, people got so much going on in their lives right now. They could,
Right.
I mean, I'm sure some people in Washington, D.C., that's what they do. They lobby for everything up there. But I don't know
Right.
if it's like a nationwide push or, like they
Yeah.
did with Biden when they were trying to get him in, like he was going to
Right.
protect us against people like Trump. We would
Right.
have seen it. across the country. I don't think it's that much going on for this lady.
Right.
Right. And
And
I'm gonna
number a
say,
bunch of AKs. Go ahead.
excuse me, I was gonna say it's no limit to what they do. It could be like you say, a group of 10 or 20 women they put together to start a movement. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So because they know we just follow up with any old thing, because she is black, but
Yeah, go with it. Yeah,
right,
they think
we just gonna flow with it, right?
you're right.
It's
You
getting
know they
some
well off.
attention.
Right.
Hmm.
You know they well off because they show up in Washington D.C. and then, like I said, they probably some sororities or Greek fraternities. You know
Right.
exactly. Okay. So, with that being said, I was going to just go tell anybody that want to comment on it before we close out is that being a non-Messianic. I was sitting there thinking about it. You know, being a non-Messianic Hebrew Israelite, what is that? How kind of effect that it had on your day-to-day life up to this point? Anybody want to make any comments on that? What kind of effect it had? Like I said, from a day-to-day basis, has it made any kind of you notice any kind of things that you have to do different that you were doing before you came into this understanding?
Just for me, it's just it's like an illumination. It's just like how it's like you were like you couldn't see, baby. Your eyes, and then it's like it makes sense. Everything. You know, and like I said, even when I was supposedly a Christian, because that's how I was brought up, and that's what I thought. I never could really put my mind around. I don't know. I always believed in God, but I had a hard time. Even when I joined churches and we moved around, every so often I would join a church. It'd be the first thing I did. But they always ask you, do you believe on, you believe on it, with, and I used to say yes, but I did not. And I used to think that I was going to hell because I did not really believe it. So it's like I never really could put, even though I wanted to, I always believed in God, but I guess because I always saw this picture of this blonde hair blue, I just never believed it. It just
Right,
was, I couldn't connect with that. And I
right,
always liked the stories of the Old Testament. I never really read the New Testament, and I never read Revelations. I just didn't like when they talk. And I guess because it was like a bunch of white men, Mark, Luke, John. I never connected with it. It never made sense like
right,
the Old Testament when it was talking about the stories of the people there. Just didn't know why I could not believe. And I used to feel so guilty because people were up there crying and especially
right,
Passion of the Christ. I remember that movie came out and I was like, why is it not affecting me?
right.
I can't cry about that. It wasn't connecting. And I now I understand, the Lord was like, this ain't it.
Exactly. Okay. Is this song? Anybody else?
I would like to say that was sort of how I was in the church because, we grew up in the church. We were there every Sunday, singing in the choir, Easter speeches, all of that. And
Right,
the older I got, I kind of got away from the church because when I would go, I just wouldn't be, I'm there, but my mind is not there.
right.
Then all of a sudden, I just stopped going. And
Okay,
now I know why. And the hardest part for me now, and I continuously pray about this, is family.
right,
Because they don't understand you. They think you're crazy. You know,
right,
they want you at celebrations for Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas, and especially after my mom passed, I was the one that did a lot of the cooking for Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that, and you know, birthday celebrations. They don't understand. They think I'm crazy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Get that a
That's
lot.
that's exactly that's the first thing they think you went on the rocker. Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
it doesn't affect me though. It doesn't bother me. I've learned how to, maneuver around that and
right,
just remain on common ground with them. And like I told them, you don't have to like it, but as long as you respect me, I'm good. Just like I respect you.
right. And the thing about it too is, with me is to make it a point to show ain't nothing wrong with my mind because they want to think something happened or whatever. But you steady showing them you just as sound as just as you always been. It's just that, you've been awakened. And so like I said, my situation was, like I said, several events happened, and that once that happened, it didn't matter to me what nobody said. Like I said, I was, with Samuel, how Samuel when he was a little boy, he that the Lord called him, and he was throwed off. He didn't know what was going on. He thought Eli was calling him, or his daddy was calling him. So he got up and went over there, and his daddy was saying, "I ain't call you." He did that 3 times. Then finally, his daddy told him, because he was a prophet too. He said, "Next time you get called, just say, 'Here I am, Lord.'" So that happened with me 3 times, 3, 4 times. Like when I was younger, it was happening, but I had no clue what it was. But I was being shaken. Like somebody grab you by the shoulders, you sleep, sound asleep in the bed, somebody grab you by the shoulders and wake you up. But I just never think nothing about it. I just go on and do whatever it is I was doing. And so when I got older now, that happened. I get up, went out outside, looking outside, trying to see, because I know somebody shook me and woke me up. And then, finally I realized what it was. It was something I need to do. So I would turn on TV or go start reading the scriptures, and then what it was would be revealed like that. And so then, and the other time was when, I was on my knees and on my face to the ground and couldn't move. Then he picked me up and put me on my knees, and I went to the scriptures. And both of those events happened in the scriptures. And that's how I feel. I realized I was an Israelite, Hebrew Israelite. Nobody come tell me that. When I saw that, I realized it. And then it just went on from there. So it was nothing nobody could really tell me as far as, saying that I was awful, I was wrong or whatever, because it didn't matter. I know what happened. So that's what got me to the point where I'm at. Yeah.
Wow, that's confirmation for you. That's awesome.
Right. That's the only way I found out. And
Mm.
I was dumbfounded because I would go on, like people doing now. They go on like they see all this stuff happening, but go on like it's something happening. It's something drawing to an end, but you ain't looking at it. So then I would come in and the scriptures would be open, and
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is the same thing happened to me. It's just right here, Daniel, and that's
Mm.
why I connected the dots. So I just went on from there. Yeah, it did some.
That's it's like y'all was saying with the families and stuff. I used to get angry when I'm trying to explain, but now I'm like you. I'm like I feel sorry for them. I'm so
Right,
grateful that I know. I'm just so grateful that he opened my eyes.
right,
I don't worry about it anymore. I think early on you try to convince people, but then after a while you're like, I told him, he don't have to open their eyes if he wants to,
Right.
you know.
right.
It goes back to the. It go back. You got something?
No, I was saying that's true. That's where I was at. I was at that point,
Right.
that's not for me to, try to get them to see, you know, just give me respect of where I'm at, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's another witness, like I said about how they turn around and flip everything around. So they tell you in the New Testament at the end, which is where we at, that Jesus gonna turn the father against the mother and all that. But we see now who turning the father against the mother against the father, the son against the father and brother against sister and all that. It's this. They done flipped it around, got you thinking it was gonna be JC, but it ain't JC. It's the truth coming out and it's turning it, it's turning the family upside down. They took that and stuck it on JC. Ain't that something?
Yes, yes. And I always think about, because I used to ask, the Lord this all the time, why me? Out of my sisters, my brothers, you know, um, my aunts, my uncles. I mean, all of them are still big in the church, and
Right.
I am the only one. So when I say, oh, we got shrimp and we got this, I don't eat that. What's wrong with you?
Mm.
Like, so I always,
Exactly.
yeah, they always ask me, what's wrong? You don't eat that no more. What's wrong with you? You don't change. And I just kind of always say, yeah, for the better, just kind of play it off a little bit. But
Hmm.
yeah.
It's funny how people accept so quickly the Muslim religion. You got a
Yes.
Muslim person, you respect that they don't eat certain things, they don't do certain things, but they want to give us a hard time.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, at the beginning that's the first thing they would say, am I Muslim? That's the first thing they would say at first. I used to didn't say nothing, but I realized I had to make a statement, tell them that no, I ain't a Muslim. You know, yeah. Is this something?
But one thing I know for sure, I don't care what nobody say or what no, what they do. I'm not going back to nobody's church, and I know JC is an idol. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
I'm not making no U-turns.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Definitely not.
Right. I was talking to somebody this morning about like in my story, my journey was, when all this first started happening, it ain't gonna quite, the spirit of the Most High be on you, but you still kind of, cause the deception was so great, you thinking that are you doing the right thing, right? So you have to go through all that. Like for instance, you end up back in the church. Like me, I ended up back in the church through deaths in the family or whatever. And you have to go to the funeral, and then you get a blast from the past right in your face. And so then you get confirmation. You know you can't deal with this no more. Your eyes too open. You can't deal with it.
I think that's different from going sitting in a church listening to a pastor preach the word about JC. You know, um, I don't want to go in the church for anything, but for a funeral, it has to be limited time that I'm in there because I still don't want to hear the garbage that the pastor talked about. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, yeah.
when I say I'm not going back in the church, I'm not picking up my Bible, going in a church on a Sunday to worship JC and to be shouting and running around the church.
Yeah, it might collapse on us because we know.
You
We go
especially
we
when
go in a
you know,
church.
right?
We it may collapse in on
I'm not
itself.
doing it.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
You know,
Right. Right. Yeah. So yeah, you gonna you some kind of way, because you're gonna get tried. Some kind of way you mess around and end up
oh
in there.
yeah,
And then, but the thing about it is that those are reassurances you getting because because they out of control now. Like I was saying, I was noticing. I don't know if anybody else seen it. They got special lights, Christmas lights, and all that, and putting around the graves of the people they love ones graves. Yeah, I passed
no,
I
by.
haven't seen that. That's crazy.
Passed by the grave, they got Christmas lights all around the grave. And all, I was like, wow. And like I said, they so bent on getting money. When they have a funeral, they're gonna do a full service. They ain't gonna just lay the person to rest. They're gonna go through the whole process, take up offering, all that. They ain't playing no more. They trying to get anytime any kind of event go on in church, they gonna go through the whole process. You ain't gonna go in there. You ain't gonna go in there and they don't get no money out you.
What I notice is they don't even really preach no more. They may say a scripture, but then they gonna give you this motivational what is it it's like they don't really talk about the Bible. I mean, that was starting big when I was toward the last couple of years I was in there, but that's if you watch, if I'm flipping through YouTube things and it'll have titles like nothing to do with
Right,
the Bible, just how to be. I don't know. It's like, are y'all motivational speakers? Are y'all relationship? I don't know. It's just it doesn't seem like they even learning like we learning. They're not even learning about the actual Bible. They're just
right,
getting motivational encouragement, through I think secular conversation.
right. Oh yeah, ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
It's a waste of time.
So I have a question on that. When you say you're gonna be tried, right?
Right,
And like you said, nobody else knows how the Lord is dealing with you. Nobody
right,
else knows that, right?
right,
So I think all of that comes into play. If you don't know anything about having strength and being a leader, you're
right,
always going to be a follower. If you're thinking that someone over there is doing better, that looks good over there, you always going to leave where you at
right,
to go over there to see what it's about.
right,
And if you really think about it, that's how we ended up, in a lot of bad situations.
right,
We had it good, but we looking at what somebody else doing over there, in the next yard, and we want to go over there and get a taste of that. The same
right.
is, you think the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, what I was saying was the fact that, and nobody seems to know this, but that's one of the more I always try to shed a light on the Most High characteristics that the Lord of Hosts characteristics that He showed me reading the scriptures. Like I said, if you made a statement that uh, you called out, He called you out of all your parents, all your other folks, and all that. Well, it's a price. There's a price to that, because what's going to happen is, I think when He call you out and then take you and you look back and see how far you came, well, He gonna take you. You're gonna get tried. You're gonna try you. You're gonna get tried. You ain't gonna just. You gotta know that you're gonna get tried, and so that's where the blessings come in there. After He done brought you through all that, then He gonna bring you to a place where you used to be at, and you go right for the same thing. That's where the blessing hinging on. The blessing hinging on that. And then if you, like David said, he learned not to go to the left or to the right. That's where the blessing came in at.
Right.
Yeah. So just like with like I said, with repentance, or with seeing, when you do something, you got to know, if you understand that what you do is gonna come back on you. Like for instance, somebody sleep around with somebody else, uh, husband or whatever, and then you sitting there thinking that you praying for this or that to happen. No, what's in the future for you is recompense.
Right.
Just like summer come, winter, then fall. That's how it goes. That's been set. It's been set in motion. So He called you out, and you see that you ain't like everybody else. Believe me, you're gonna get tried.
Oh yeah, and I have been tried.
Right, right. Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
tried some more.
Right, right. But that's how you get stronger. You get draw nigher. And then, like I said, all the time, you ain't gonna be up for the job, and that's good. That's cool. But the thing is that you have the knowledge to understand that to keep moving.
Right.
it gets stronger and stronger. Yeah, you get stronger and stronger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's the
Right.
reason why I never, when I get into conversation about the scriptures, I'm strictly in the scriptures. It's nothing I'm talking. Nothing I say it. I'm talking about what is in the scriptures. What the scripture said that's how I got to where I'm at. Going back to see what the scripture said, and compared to what's happening with me and what happened to the prophets. Because it ain't nothing new under the sun. He came walking in the cool of the day to talk to Adam. He came walking with Moses. He came walking with Noah. He ain't doing nothing no different. They just throwed us off, but he doing the same thing he did with our forefathers. He doing now. Ain't nothing different. Yeah. So let me click on this right quick. See what this brother talking about. It says, don't ever let them keep newborns 3 days in the hospital. Putting them through the fire of the right eye of Moloch on 3 days. Okay, that's good to know. Got another one here. Daniel 11:33, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, by flame, by captivity, by spoils, by many days. Okay, one more. It says, my mom admitted to the flame. Okay, it's long, bro. Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to voice their opinion on?
No, I just think that this topic that we're talking about is very important. And not to say I'm better than anybody, I'm not going to be tried or whatever. You just don't discuss everything that happens in your life. I have been tried. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
you
yeah,
learn from
yeah.
that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You learn from that. I'm saying what I will not do because
Oh,
I
right.
know me and I know the conversations that I have with the Lord and I know what the Bible says. And I
Right.
was called out for a reason.
Right.
I
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
that's
not
what I was
called out,
thinking.
yes, because
Like,
I was weak.
no, I think it's absolutely the opposite. I think, like you were saying, people who don't have, they kind of follow, I
Yeah,
think the people that are open, they have not ever been followers. You have a strong
Right.
mind to begin with. You're
right,
not just gonna go along with the crowd.
Right.
right. And that's what a lot of us do. And I've never been a follower and I'm not going to start now. And I think that is why I have such a strong foundation when this truth, was revealed to me. I'm just not a follower. I don't care what you're doing over there. I don't have to do it. If it doesn't feel right with me, I'm not going to do it just because
Right.
everybody else is doing it.
Right. Well, he know that before he called you out. That's what I was saying. Just like with me, I don't care. I can care less what somebody say.
Right,
You got so many people that come on YouTube and all that. They going, they looking and seeing how many views and how many this and that the person got. And when it ain't, it don't pertain to them.
right. I can
You know,
care less of what
right.
somebody say about me and
Exactly.
think about me.
Right.
It does not matter to me. That's the
Right.
reason why. Yeah,
Like you said, it go back to you having a personal walk with him. So
right.
it's not pertaining to what they think or what they say. So
No,
And then if you look at the Israelites that, they semi woke, I say,
right.
the largest groups are the ones that still believe in JC. They
Right.
got they believe in all these different nationalities being
Right.
Israelites. You might as well say the whole world is Israelite then.
right.
And they got the largest following because
Right.
people just jumping on it.
Right.
They're not
Bandwagon.
connecting with the Lord. They just Christians calling
Right.
it something else.
Right.
Right,
Exactly. And they went all the way to the Vatican with all that junk that Constantine concocted and got them a ticket. That's what they did because that's what's gonna get you all the followers. If you reject all that, you ain't finna have no bunch of followers. That's what the deal is. They're not gonna let go of that because that's gonna get them followers. That's the easy way out. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of they were saying that a lot of these they just like the churches. They got the 50, what is it,
501(c)(3).
501, those kind of organizations, so they just making money. They know they're not telling the truth. Some
Right.
of them really big ones, Israelite groups, they know that, and they got Christ in the name, just like a church. It's just like
Right.
Israelites following Christ. Just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Then what tripped me out is they say they ain't Christians, but Christ is in the word Christian. What you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Following Christ. Christ is Christ, where you get the word Christian from. Come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on that one show for a couple times, that Five Smooth Stones, that one brother on there keep on trying to elaborate on something. He ain't quote now scripture. You keep trying to elaborate on stuff. I say, you ain't, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Take me to the scripture. You keep on trying to elaborate on stuff, what you say, what you got from seminary.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that, bro. Show me in the scriptures. What are you talking about? Come on. Is this song? Yeah, I'm gonna play this little poetry right here, and then we're gonna get off here. Okay.
This poem is inspired by a Facebook post where I asked Black people, if you could write a letter to white people, what would you say? Dear white people, I don't even know where to start. In between my busy schedule comprised entirely of surviving white America, there is simply no time to write letters. Besides, any letter I write will most likely bring tears to your eyes, and I, for one, have had my fill of white tears. There are days I think you aren't worth my ink, that your whiteness is draining me of too much energy. Can't give you a taste of the tea for fear you'll colonize the whole kitchen. But today, I am too angry to remain silent. Dear white people, stop making everything about you and how uncomfortable you are. I honestly don't give a flying fuck about your comfort level. You have made my very existence an exercise in discomfort. It is time for you to make room at the table. Better yet, go sit in the living room. I am not here to coddle your feelings, not here for your amusement. No, you cannot touch my hair. This isn't a damn petting zoo. And stop coming into my office asking for the managers if you aren't already looking at one. Dear white people, stop telling me about this colorblind society you allegedly live in. Telling me you don't see race is the racist drivel I hope you choke on. Telling me you respect me but don't see my color is like saying you have to pretend I'm not Black in order to respect me. But let me assure you, I am Black, though there are plenty of things I'm not, like your sassy Black friend. Stop saying, hey girl, when you see me. You ain't that slick. I hear the way you talk to Becky and Steve every day. You sound like Vacation on Martha's Vineyard, where you spent summers waiting in the bitter blue of the Atlantic. How I wish my toes could touch the ocean without stepping on the bones of my ancestors. Dear white teachers, why don't I know who my ancestors are? Why is only one part of my history important enough to teach? And for the love of God, stop swiveling your heads every time slavery is mentioned. Newsflash, I wasn't there. And just because I'm the only Black person in this class doesn't mean you can ask me to speak on behalf of my race. I believe you really care about the opinion of Black students when you stop shutting down conversations because I call a white student racist. Dear white people, why do you hate being called racist more than you hate racism? Why do you listen to Tim Wise over actual Black people about the Black experience? Dear white people, stop using Black on Black crime as a reason we shouldn't be outraged by the murder of Black people by white cops. If a Black person kills a Black person, they will go to jail, and that is what we call justice. If a white cop kills a Black person, they will get paid leave, and that is what we call justice. Apparently, justice is when a Black body dies. Dear white people, every time we've written white people, we've written it in lowercase because we are tired of you capitalizing on our pain. We are angry and raw and tired and angry and raw and tired and tired and tired, but we will not rest because we know the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And you have been getting us ready for centuries.
Okay, get that song.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna see everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the Friday night Q&A. So you can get a big fat question together. I'll be much obliged. I'm gonna say shalom, everybody. And I'll see y'all tomorrow
At 8, right?
yeah, 8 o'clock.
Shalom.
Okay.